up, Matt from Urchfab. Today I've got a quick little video on a few little tips to just help keep your welder running smoothly, particularly when it's cold in your workshop. If you are someone that welds occasionally and you keep a welding machine in your garage, say you only weld once a week on the weekend working on your car, then this is something that will benefit you. Talking about Mig welders, what happens with these is as you use them, they produce heat. You leave them in a freezing cold workshop and you get condensation build up in the machine. I get condensation build up in the workshop in general. What happens is condensation will build up on top of the welding wire, and then the wire will actually rust. If you're not using the machine every single day, you'll get a build-up of rust on top of the welding wire. So all I do to stop that is these little packets of silica gel, which you get in all sorts of different things. I think these ones probably even came in the box of the Mig wire. I just chuck that in there, and then any condensation should hopefully be absorbed by these and it won't sit on top of the wire. So if you come out to your welder and you lift this up and you have a look and you realise that it is all rusted, like the top layer of wire is rusted, just remove the whole top layer of wire till you've got till you've exposed all the clean wire. If you're not going to be using your machine for a long period of time, you could just take the spool out and put it in your house, rather than if it's going to be sort of left in your damp garage or something until you're ready to use it again and then put it back in. One of the issues that you will get is if you run rusty wire through your welding torch, you will ruin the liner in the torch. It'll all jam up with the rust and the wire won't feed smoothly. One of the common things I get people say to me is that their welder seems to some days work absolutely fine and other days doesn't seem to perform as normal using exactly the same settings, and it's almost always that the liner needs replacing, and it's just because the wire can't actually feed through the liner. So I think a lot of people don't realise that the liner inside the torch is a consumable part which should be replaced. I replace them every, I don't know, definitely at least once a year. I'll put new liner and new rollers in, but you only have to run rusty wire through your torch once and it will ruin the liner. But you don't, it's not a big deal if you've done that, because the liners are really cheap and all you have to do to replace them. So people will always replace the tip and the nozzle, but if you unscrew the little end cap, and then this here is your replaceable liner, and these are really cheap, a couple of quid to replace this. Another issue you might have is you might have the symptoms of the wire not feeding smoothly, or almost like it's sticking and releasing as you're welding and creating like an inconsistent feed of wire. That could be because you've bent the torch over too tight of an angle. Maybe you've dropped a piece of steel on it, or even just stood on it. You could kink this over, and if there's any sort of damage to this, like get squished at all, it's going to pinch on the wire, and you'll get the same sort of the same effect as if you bend the torch too tightly when you're trying to weld. If you have this thing kinked around like that, it's not going to feed the wire very well. So you always want to make sure you've got the torch as straight as possible, and that you've always got a good liner in it. So basically you'll buy these liners to fit your torch. If you've got a 4 meter torch, you need a 4 meter liner. The size of the liner will be based on the size of the wire you use. So if you use 0.8 Mig wire, you're gonna get a 0.6 to 0.8 liner, or if you use bigger, you'll get a 1mm to 1.2mm liner. So you just match to whatever the common sizes of wire you are using. Your liner is going to look exactly like that, but it will be a couple of inches longer than this one is. Lay your torch out flat. Lay your torch out flat, and then you're going to feed it in until it meets the stop. You'll have to have taken the tip out of the other end. And what you're going to have, so you're going to have the exact same setup as that, but the extra few inches of the liner will be sticking out the end. So they obviously make them a bit longer to accommodate for slightly different lengths. Just get a pair of cutters, cut it off flush with that, put a new tip in, and a new nozzle, and as long as your switch is working all right, your torch will now basically work like a brand new torch. And it's as simple as that. For probably less than a tenner, you can make your torch good as new. No need to buy a whole new torch, and that's worth doing just as a regular sort of service to the machine. The other thing you want to check is in here. You've got your, so these are the drive rollers, and these again are a consumable part that will wear out. So you want to make sure that you've got like a sharp edge on the groove, because that's what pinches into the wire and feeds the wire. So if that's all worn out and smooth and it's slipping on the wire, it's going to give you the same kind of thing. So it's amazing what a set of rollers and a new torch liner will do for an old machine. And you can quite often pick up old machines that people think there's something wrong with them, particularly the old like transformer type machines, which generally not much really goes wrong with them. And yeah, chuck a set of rollers and a torch liner in it, and it works like new again. So one way to check if you're having any kind of issues with the wire feeding through, if you're welding and it seems to be inconsistent or it's not doing what it seems like it should, just pinch the wire between your fingers and press the button. See if you can stop it. I'm pinching that pretty hard. If you can stop it really easily, then you've got a problem with either the rollers or the liner or something. And you'll see if I wind this up, I can now stop that really easily, because of the resistance of the wire trying to get around this bend. It takes almost no pinch at all to stop that. And that's the effect of having this too tightly wound. If you have it nice and open, it flows through there easy. And now it's got some power behind it again. So it's a quick way you can check. So yeah, there's a little tip for keeping your Mig Welder running smoothly. Hopefully that might, fix someone's problems they're having. So just thought I'd make a little video, kind of in between other projects at the minute, so just wanted something to post really, and thought that might help someone. So that's going to be it for this one. Just watching. See you on the next one.